Okay, we're going to do problem PR3-10. So I'm going to share my screen here. I've taken the problem from Connect and put it into Excel, and we're just going to solve it within this Excel program. Okay, it gives us information for Shield Panda Company. It says they have sales of 2,580 units, and the following information they have us in dollar values. First question is, what is Shield Panda's break-even point in units? Okay, to get it in units, we need to solve for the contribution margin per unit. So I'm going to take this 84,624 and I'm going to divide that by 2,580, which is the number of units they give right here. And this gives us $32.80 per unit. Now I'm going to take my fixed costs over here and I'm going to divide it by my contribution margin per unit, and that gives me the total number of units that I need. Now, we have a decimal point here, so I'd go ahead and put in the round form. Follow whatever Excel wants you, or excuse me, Connect wants you to do in terms of rounding. I'm going to go ahead and put in a round up formula here, and I'm going to round it up to no decimal points here. And that gives me 1,429. That will be, I'm going to remove the decimal points here, and that'll be my number of units for break even. Okay, next one says Shield Panda projects an increase in sales of 25%. What will be Shield Panda's break even point in units next year? Well, this one's pretty easy. It's the same as the last answer because remember the break even point is when you hit zero, right? When the total profit is zero, the total cost is equal to total revenue that we have here. And so remember, if we're talking about just an increase in the number of units for sales, if we increase by 25%, that won't change our break even. Our break even will be the same because it's the point at which we cover our total fixed cost. And that point's not going to change even if we sell more units. That's still the same amount of units we need to cover our total fixed cost. So that'll be the same. Okay, now we'll move on to the next one. It says Shield Panda projects an increase in sales of 25% next year. What will Shield Panda's margin of safety be next year in units? This will change because remember, the margin of safety is going to be the amount of units we sell versus the amount needed to break even. So if we're selling more, then obviously that will change. So we need to calculate our total units. I'm going to do this calculation just up here. If we have an increase of 25%, so I'm going to take 2,580, which is the original amount of units we had right here. I'm going to multiply this by 1.25. That will give me a 25% increase. So everything, the 2,580 plus 25%, when we multiply it by 1.25, that gives me 3,225. Now what I need to do is take from that the break even. So I'll take this minus our break even that we have here, and that will give us 1796. I'm going to go ahead and remove the decimal points because we're just doing whole units that we have here. So this is the number of units it would take for our margin of safety. Or I guess I should say the excess we have above the break even. That's what we're talking about here. Okay, the last part, it says calculate Shield Panda's margin of safety ratio for next year. So if we want a margin of safety ratio, we're going to take our amount of safety that we have, our margin of safety, and divide by our total amount of units that we expect to sell, this 3,225. And this gives us a percentage of 55.69%. That is our margin of safety ratio that we have. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop. We're done with this problem, and so I'll end the video.